Okay.
Yes.
Alright, welcome everybody to the Australian Numismatic Society's 1231st meeting. And Tony, you go stop.
Oh yes.
We have, well, they're not visitors anymore, they've joined. What was your name?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Welcome, Gilbert.
Thank you.
And Simon. Welcome, Simon. We have apologies from David Mead, Les Carlisle, Lindy Hall, Joe Dadling, Ron Bolden, Peter Dunstan, Marie Brad, Robert Tonner and Bob Clinton. Bob's still in hospital?
Yeah, still in hospital.
Okay.
And I'll apologise for it because he knows it like the bleeding.
Yeah, I already put his name down on, so
I see it's down here.
Is
yeah.
there any other apologies that anyone knows? No? All passed? Okay. Okay, we've got general business then. So we'll just roll this along so that Jim can start doing his little thing about the auction. General business, Phyllis House, where we normally meet,
Yeah.
has been sold. They are now looking for new premises. The next two meetings will still be at Phyllis House because they're still going to be, they can't just move out, in a week.
Until the end of June, Phyllis House still belongs to Phyllis because the buyer has only paid a 5% deposit.
Okay.
And they have until the end of June to pay the balance and take it over.
Who bought it, by the way?
We're not sure, but we suspect it was the people who have the top two floors, who's a developer. Surprise, surprise. And,
Yeah.
we assume that once we're out of there, they'll put in, they'll redevelop the whole lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And Phyllis has the option of renting for 3 months,
Right.
but the rent is kind of horrendous at $1,000 a day.
More.
So they will want to try and find a premises as quick as they can. They're looking now.
Yeah.
There. I've sort of thought in the back of my mind that if they can't find a premises, ideally they should go and store everything in a lockup somewhere until they do find a premise. I mean, they have a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but they run auctions, which is where their income comes from.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. So as I said, they're looking for new premises. Our next two meetings should still be at Phyllis House. So our December and
January. Yeah.
January will still be at Phyllis House.
And it's the 12th of December. I think I put on the agenda the 12th of November,
Yeah.
which is 2 days ago.
Yeah, I thought it was something strange.
Yeah. So our next meeting on the second Monday of the month is 12th of December, and that's going to be at Phyllis House, and it'll be starting at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's our usual display
It's our
competition. So
Christmas-
when you come to
Christmas-
Phyllis House, everyone puts out a display and we vote on the night on the best display, and it's a general vote. There's this number of people there. Everyone gets a general vote, and whoever gets the most votes wins the little medal that we have, which is best display for 2022.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it still bring a plate?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
bring a plate.
With something on it.
Is that,
Food, preferably food.
Yeah.
There's Ross coming down.
No.
Ross.
Oh.
Ross is here.
Ah, it is Ross. He's still alive.
Well, yeah.
Parking illegally.
Here he is. He's still alive.
Prophecy. I had a black market that I'll tell you about later.
Oh, he's got to park the car. Thank you.
Okay. Well, as I said, this is our display competition and Christmas social on the 12th of December. Okay. Is there any other general business? Just for reference, I finished my last course of chemo last Friday, so everything's on the way up. So I'll be seeing my oncologist tomorrow, and checking on the tests and everything else. So everything should be fine.
Uses to get the numbers down.
Except for the fact that, you know, chemotherapy tends to knock you around a fair bit. I think I'll be travelling okay. All right, nothing else to report. I'll invite Jim to show the highlights of the November auction.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Welcome, members. I hope you enjoy the evening. I won't speak for too long. It's not easy to speak for a short time when you've got interesting things to show you. The catalogue's just come out, miraculously. We did send out a little apology because we had a number of things happening which didn't make it easy, but funnily enough, Australia Post have been very efficient. It was picked up on Tuesday, people got it by Thursday. They got it in Singapore on Wednesday because they picked up the overseas ones on Monday. And they got it in New Zealand last week as well. So I'm waiting to hear from US and Europe and England if they can get it. That's where you spend the money sending it by express, as that's where you come up against all these restrictions and customs and So let's got our fingers crossed, but it's online. Thousands of people look at it online. We send out 6,000 emails to people they get the same email, 6,000 of them. And we usually have 1,000 buyers, so you won't have it all to yourselves, but it's held over at the library for the 4 days, which is about 700 lots, and that's over 18 sessions. So their sessions are around 150 a session, so that should go slower, giving people time to get their second cup of coffee while they consider rebidding online, or you poor people in the room get exasperated waiting for them to make up their minds and the auctioneers are patient. Then the final part of the auction, the last 1,000 odd lots, is a timed online only auction which closes on the second last day of the auction, starting on the Thursday at 9:30 a.m. and they close progressively. A timed auction means that they close progressively every couple of minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. And there's 1,000 lots, so it could go for 2 days. That session's got Militaria followed by decimal coins, decimal proofs, and then world coins and world banknotes. So a lot of interesting stuff that normally you'd see in the live auction room. But I'll go through the catalogue, all in catalogue order, and the things I'm going to show you what I think are intriguing, what we haven't seen before. We started with miscellaneous Australian coins, as we always do, and they are bulk lots, pre-decimal coins. Then we go to misstrikes. And the first misstrike I'm going to show you is intriguing. It's a shilling of 1955, which happened to have a threepence pressed up against it. And thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
And it was impressed into the shilling, the surface of the shilling. So in the catalogue, at lot 60 it is, you'll see that there's a picture of it with the blank in place on the shilling at the top picture, and then underneath the two pieces separated. So it's an intriguing misstrike. We sold it back in July 1994, and it's probably unique in that form.
The brockage.
Well, it's two coins at once, a threepenny blank against a shilling. So it's intriguing the way it's happened.
It's not a bind, it's Alec.
No, I actually put the weights there because you've got the weight of a shilling, you've got the weight of a threepence there. So it's not just like a shilling came apart or anything. So it's very intriguing, that one.
Was that threepence actually stuck in the host coin?
I think the blank got stuck.
That threepence was the brockage for the.
I think what's happened is it got stuck there, and the coin's been stamped, as you can see, with a clear picture of Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
But when you take it out, it's just a dull image there, an impression from underneath. So intriguing error.
Yeah.
Never seen one before, but I must have sold it sometime ago. I've forgotten it. 1994 is the record, but I couldn't find which sale. But you don't get a lot of time to do all these things. This is an intriguing one. This comes with a letter of authenticity from the Royal Mint. This is a British coin struck with 2 reverses, and it's believed to be unique. Now in Australia you normally see these done on the hand press where they use the same die front and back, or obverse and reverse. This one has...
63.
It was at a Christie's sale in 1991. Must have gone for a lot of money because the estimate from the owner is $6,000. So it's one to get. And from the same owner is this intriguing one which he bought from Davison, USA. A penny struck 4 times. Quadruple strike on a 1965 penny.
Wow.
So maybe when they were closing down on pre-decimal coins, they had too much to drink one day. I knew that's what happened. Amazing error. That's estimated at 3,000.
The other side too. Reverse is just as good.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how interesting numerous strikes are in Australia. I mean, other auction firms are also getting very good prices for them, and there's a big following. But you're not allowed to take them out of the mint. They have a special security, so they will remain rare. But these old ones, you'll never see them done again. Now this runs through mint rolls, then we go Papua New Guinea, then we go New Zealand. And I want to show you this one because it's an old brown packet. I think that packet was written up by Harry Robinson, a dealer in Auckland. It's going way back. It's a 1936 florin in original condition.
What was that?
Lot
81.
It's in lovely condition.
Yeah, it is.
Original surface hasn't been cleaned or anything. It's got mint bloom. And that is a very hard date to get in uncirculated.
Oh, it is.
And this is a 1935 Thruppers, which is really nice. A lot of brilliant mint bloom with this one.
That's a rare date. Huh?
Yeah. So it's lot number 85, and it's estimated at $750. I've simply said from an old New Zealand collection with brown envelope.
That's nice.
When I catalogue those, I'll keep the estimates conservative, get them excited.
Nice rare coin.
Now this next one in the New Zealand section goes through a couple of pages. We come up to lot 119. It's a threepence of 1965, which they were struck at the Royal Mint. But this one happens to be struck with the obverse of a Malayan British North Borneo 5 cents. So as far as I know, it's unique. Some Malayan mistress were asking me where it is, and I just said I didn't know. And all while I got it consigned. So we sold it way back in sale 38. It was in sale 36 and then in sale 38, so that's going back to about 1991 or 2. And that will create a lot of interest with the Malayans, but it's in the New Zealand section, so they may not see it. So you'd be smart to buy that one.
If I was still collecting, I would.
Oh, the boss. I'm delivering a talk here.
She doesn't care.
Oh, you know, I thought that down. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Something for me to eat when I go home. I've already had some. Okay. So that's that one. I don't put out any tokens because you've seen them before. It's a selection. The second session at 11:30 a.m. is got miscellaneous items, including jewellery, watches, and ingots. I thought I'd show you an ingot from someone who's consigned a few ingots in the sale. It's bought from the Swiss banks in the old days. This is from the Swiss Bank Corporation, lot 182. It's a 50 gram ingot, all die struck, and perfect uncirculated condition. Still its original plastic flip, and you can see the detail. There is one in the sale that's 100 grams, but it didn't show the design as well, so I didn't pull it out. And it's 7,500. This one's 3,750.
Is that gold value?
Yeah, Yeah, it's 999 gold, so it's
No,
gold
no,
value
no.
less 20% because you've got to pay buyer's premium. So if it's knocked down to you at 37.50, you're doing well because gold was 2,500 then when I was estimating them. Yeah, you will never pay too much at our sale. I've told you all that before. So we go through all the jewellery where I'm told one of the watches is a Chinese copy and so hard with all those things. There's a few antiquities and we get up to the third session at 2:30 in the afternoon and it's Australian Historical Medals, a whole session of Australian Historical Medals.
329.
Yeah, lot 329 is the silver Captain Cook Memorial Medal done in 1784 at the mint by Pingo for the Royal Society, and that's the music to accompany it. He's got it. So that's a nice medal. It's estimated 1,250, and this comes from a collection of a man who's got a few convict love tokens in the sale. I haven't shown you any because they're hard to photograph in this light, but you know, they're the engraved ones. There's one at 4,000 for John Chapman, who was a waterman from Middlesex, convicted in May 1832 of stealing a tea caddy. All the offences in those days. So they're quite interesting to read about. I didn't pull this one out. If Les was here, he'd shoot me for not pulling it out. It's a South Australian Agricultural and Horticultural Society medal, 1852. Very early in silver, hand engraved, and it's actually illustrated on the front cover of the Carlisle Armstrong book on Australian Agricultural Awards. So a very intriguing medal. I should have pulled it out. It's on a large card probably. So
Les did send his apologies and he wishes everybody well and says he's sorry he can't be here.
oh, thanks Rodney, that's good because I was hoping he might be able to be picked up to come for a quick look. Now, what have I done there? I thought I picked that item out. We've got some medals, as we had in the last sale, from G.D. Guthrie, who founded the Bendigo Pottery. And there's one which is in a plush case, talking about it, and there's a couple of medals with his name engraved on them. Have you arrived safely, darling?
Can't stop you, can you? Assistant. Number 2, son.
Okay, number 2, son.
I shall
Okay.
turn mine off.
I don't know why I picked this one out. It must have been a mistake. Anyway, this is Sydney International Exhibition medal, official judges
363.
in silver.
Thank you.
Nice condition. And there's a footnote, quite a long footnote there about the recipient. Thornton was a foundation president of the Sydney Rowing Club. Yeah. He died of dysentery in 1901 at Parramatta, survived by his wife, Mary Ann. John does a bit of research on some of these, quite intriguing. So nice condition. It's always, they sell well these, they're quite rare. $2,000 estimate. The next medal I'm showing you is a Melbourne Exhibition medal in gold to Major M. Clemente, and we've sold that in the past in sale
368.
14 and also in sale 80. Now estimated 1750. It's 51 grams of 22 carat gold, I'd say, so good buy at 1750, because that's probably over an ounce of gold in that medal. Told you won't pay too much. Another gold medal from the same Elective says is said to be in 18 karat gold. And it's 46 grams. It's lot 386. It's for the Centennial International Exhibition. And it's to Sir E. Armitage and Sons. For furniture, accessories, decorations and paper hangings. So we go through quite a lot of interesting medals and medalettes in this section, the catalogue, including some large gold medals of the modern type, Matthew Garrett. And then we go to the fourth session at 4:30, which is Australian Commonwealth coins, the selected quality ones for the first day. Normally in the night session, because we reduced the quantity in sessions, we could only put the gold in the night session. So there's a fantasy pattern florin of 1909, which is only estimated at $100 because it's a private thing. Then the next one is a very important square halfpenny, Kookaburra square halfpenny, in beautiful condition. But
480.
it's a slab coin. Slabs at MS65, which is an intriguing high grade for a nickel coin. I think it's probably one of the finest known, if not the finest. And it last sold for 90,000, so it's up again for 90,000. A great rarity. I was talking to one of my old clients, and he remembers buying one out of one of our auctions for 6,000 from the Museum Victoria duplicates in 1988, and it was sold for him by a dealer years later for 150,000. So I said, I hope you've declared the capital gain and all that. Lawyers would, of course, honest people, lawyers. 499, lot 499 has got some affinity with the Australian Numismatic Society. The title at the top said, Finest Known 1921 Florin, the year of Fred Dobbin's birth. He's a former president of the Society, and he went through about 2 or 3 1921 florins before he got the ultimate one. And it is a beauty. It's illustrated on the front cover, and that's a Bob Clemson photo because it's been out of an earlier sale. So we didn't have to rephotograph it, but it's a beautiful coin and it's estimated at 10,000. But the vendor told me he paid 14 for it. So there you go. We give you bargains here.
That's assuming it sells for that.
Out of a number of centenary florins, this was one of the first ones I catalogued, and I thought, what a beauty. Okay, I showed it to one of my fastidious collectors. Oh, it's got a mark behind the neck. I said, yeah, so what? Look, it's from the set of dies where I think they did specimens. It's sort of mirror-like feels, really beautiful. Sharp coin. So I put it in for only $600. It's lot 502. Very good surface. Very good feels. Don't know why, I must have gone out of order with some of these. Oh no, that's right, that's the fourth session. So that's the end of the Australian Commonwealth. There's 30 pennies and things like that, which you've seen before. But this Holy Dollar, it was originally in Bill Myra's collection, and it came from a Nugent's Renix offering and then quality sales in California. So it was in 1969, then in California, the Kreisberg Cohen, then in Spink and Son 1973, and then M.R. Roberts's first sale in 1976. But it was in Bill Myra's collection. He bought it at that first Roberts sale, I think. It's an 1803 Mexico, and it's worn, yes, but evenly worn. The obverse shows New South Wales a little bit weak, and it's hard to see the date. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's only estimated at 40,000, so it might attract people to buy it. Don't go to sleep, Colin. I know that's not ancient.
I'm very much
I knew I shouldn't have given you a glass of red wine. Now this next dump I don't believe I've handled before, but it looks to me like the sharpest strike. I had a visit from Barry Windsor when we first had the mock-up of the cattle, and he looked at that dump and was intrigued. Yeah, I said, I haven't seen one with the denticles so wide like that. It's the A1 dies, the normal dies, but it's very sharp. But the surface is a bit pickled or something. I don't know what's happened to it, but it's not worn. It's sort of made, really.
Very nice.
Very sharp. The estimate on that's more than the Holy Dollar. It's 50,000.
Wow.
I mean, have you seen a sharper one?
Yeah.
It's quite intriguing. Well, there is one I sold years ago that was in Baldwin's collection, which is similar to this, but proof-like, an original tone, and hadn't been touched since it was struck, probably. This one I thought was intriguing to show you. It's a copper dump. I mean, there are several other dumps, don't get me wrong, but I thought this one would be worth looking at.
$5.96.
We haven't had this one before. It's a copper dump, contemporary forgery, 5.15 grams, and it's not corroded. It's not probably out of the Pitt Street hoard where some turned up years ago. When I say years ago, way back in the 20s. And this is an intriguing little coin, isn't it? It's only estimated for 3,500. John O'Connor catalogued it, so I didn't even know it was in the sale. I saw it. The vendor that he was doing had a lot of medals and medalettes, and he had this thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Has anybody seen that one before?
Nope.
Okay, then we can move on to Australian gold. And my photographer from London, she's good at getting slabs photographed. And we couldn't sell this before because the photo that Bob did never turns out, but she did a good job on this, and it's on the front cover as well. And it's a coin in PCGS as AU58, which is a high grade for a
$5.97.
cracked Adelaide pound. Now this is your chance to get one at a reasonable price. As long as the vendor doesn't shoot me, it's available at 125. I think he said he paid over 200 for it, 250 or something. But it's an auction. The highest bidder wins. And I know there's many AS members clamouring to buy these rarities. It's fun to see them though, isn't it?
Yes.
What it's all about.
Doesn't hurt to look.
So this is a 1855 Sydney Mint Sovereign, the first year edition.
606.
And it's nearly EF. Quite a nice, neat coin, no problems. And maybe it's good VF or nearly EF. I couldn't call it EF, but it's $10,000. So maybe it's a good buy, that. The next 1855 I'm showing you, I don't know. Oh no, it's not. That's the only one. Yep. The next one is a Sydney Mint Sovereign, the second type. So that's the first type. This is the second type, best one we've got. In Bob Jaggard's handwriting, back in the year 2000. Price paid, 27,500. 1862, I reckon it's the finest, 1862. It's proof-like. Really.
It's your collection?
No, this is proof-like sovereign. It's a beauty. He might have got that without getting it from me, but he might have got it from me because I got a few good ones in the old days from India. That's a magnificent coin. Even Robert Tonner had to acknowledge it was a good coin. He says he's not collecting, but you know, we'll see what happens. He gives an apology every month. I don't know why. He should be here. Especially when I'm talking. Tonner, he should be here. He's got a new puppy, so...
Good excuse.
This is on YouTube worldwide, Robert. This is a beautiful 1870 sovereign. You can pay 20,000 for that one, or you can buy one in lovely condition for only 3.5, 1870. If you're not a date collector, it's a type coin.
617?
It's one of two 1870s in this session. But the real theme of this auction, honestly, is the very good collection of half sovereigns, which is in collection number 4 of David Ross's collection for his grandchildren. And I don't know how he had so many good half sovereigns in it. I mean, if that's number 4, some of the half sovereigns he's got, what does number 1 look like? Number 2? I've looked at 2 and 3. I only got to look at number 1.
How many grandchildren did he have?
5. We sold 1.
So needed 5 of each.
Yeah. So this is a 1855 Sydney Mint half sovereign, which hasn't been on the market before. It's not worn. A truck driver found it on the road near where he was working, near an orphanage outside of Rockhampton, and the collector bought it in the early 70s. He's died and his family have given it to me to sell. They said they want 35 for it. I said, oh, okay, but estimated at 40. But, you know, one dealer looked at it, he said, oh, I'd rather buy the next one, which is the worn one, because he doesn't like damaged coins. But it's hard to decide, isn't it? You get a coin with, like that coin, if it didn't have markings on the surface, it'd be the finest one you could get. There was an uncirculated one Barrett had years ago, but that's a great coin. Anyway, the estimate's 40. But this one is one from the Reserve Bank when they had their sale in 2005.
621.
It's evenly worn. It's only VG, but it's $20,000. But the buyer paid. I remember seeing what he paid. He paid $34,000, I think. So the dealer who bought all 5 in the Reserve Bank had a good markup. That's Kurt Jaggard, KJC. He cornered the market on him. He was selling to my customer, of course. You can't hold them forever. They go elsewhere sometimes. Looking for coins, they're in a hurry.
55, yeah.
This is an 1856, lot 623, and this is from our Spink Australia sale number 6 and sale number 20, and it's E.F. Goodyear, $6,000, type 1, 1856 half sovereign. So sale 6 was November 80 when prices were very high. I think that's right, isn't it, Ross? No. Sale 6, no. November 81, that big sale. November 81, the big thick catalogue. I printed too many of them. I tried to give many away when I moved up from Martin Place. It's got the proof 30 penny on the cover of that catalogue. So that's a nice coin. 634, we move on to 634, which is an 1864, well struck. So I reckon that's a pretty good one, and it's from Spink Australia sale 26. Nice and sharp, isn't it? These half sovereigns are so hard to get in top condition. I'm glad Ross is here because he's going to see a lot of old friends shortly. This particular David Ross collection he had to sell some of the rare date sovereigns to help with house renovations for his granddaughter. So that's why some are missing. But the half sovereigns weren't touched. Probably Kurt didn't want to know half sovereign. But this is an 1887 Melbourne Shield sovereign from another source, was bought from Jaggard's.
652.
Jaggard's in 2000. And it's in pretty good condition for 1887 Melbourne. Estimate's 5,000. I went through all the sovereigns and didn't pick out the 26 Sydney for you. Why didn't I do that? I thought I did. Is anyone desperate to see the 26 Sydney?
They can come in and see it.
Yeah, it's 35,000. It was bought from KJC in 2005 for 34,950. It's a beautiful coin, but it's a little bit polished, but it's unmarked. Now, this slot 729 is about the best of the 1882 Melbournes in the hoard from Ballarat. which I bought very luckily. Thought I'd never sell them. I had 40 coins to sell or something, and thought it'd take me years to sell them. I sold them pretty quickly. I don't know what we were advertising for, $75 each or something like that. Anyway, it's an intriguing gem, and it comes from the Ross and Carol Pratley collection, sale 27 in 1989. that was.
729.
It's was lot 539 in
Used to
that.
go into O'Connell Street and have so about 3 of them on a tray to pick.
Here's George Pawlowski.
You'd look and look and look at them.
He's still
Pick one
going.
out.
Has he got a chair?
I'd start driving back
He can sit
across
next
the
to Matthew.
bridge.
Come in, George.
I'd turn around and go back again. Turn around and go back again and get another one.
So that's a gem coin. I said to a customer of mine, it's the best one in condition probably in the sale. It's untouched. It's mint. So, and it's not slabbed. You won't buy slabbed.
What are you trying to say that you sold them for?
I don't know. It's cheap, 75
Oh.
bucks or something like that. 78. I don't know. They were 100.
They
They got.
got like 1,200 or something.
Oh, they got up, yeah, but I first sold them very cheaply.
You saw
Well,
them coming.
I thought I invested $100 each in them or something. I don't know.
Said, I'll fix this bloke up. He's on the north side.
No thoughts like that. I was just happy to have a customer, I'm sure. This is lot 736, which is an 1886 Melbourne, and it's like a proof light. So one of my customers has the Sharps Bixley sale catalogue, sale 30 of our auction, way back in 1989, and he's marked his catalogue and said there's a couple of hairlines, that's it, and it's a beautiful coin and he wants it. So it's interesting, he's still got his catalogues from way back then. It's a nice coin. And it's in this collection. I thought, what could be better than this in that date in mint mode? So the half sovereigns are intriguing, and there's quite a lot of them from the Pratley collection. In fact, a lot. The next day, we go into Australian Gold second quality, Sydney Mint from 1855 through, sovereigns and half sovereigns, lots of them. Then at 11:30 the next day, Australian Commonwealth coins second quality, including a couple of pages of centenary florins, at least a couple of pages, and then mostly illustrated. Then we go into the 2:30 session, and I wanted to put the Chinese coins on so I could enjoy the live bidding and the fury of it all, because our estimates are always out of kilter, out of whack when it comes to Chinese stuff. And one of the collections we've got is formed by a missionary who went there before the Second World War, very early in the piece, a Melbourne man, and James Gardiner. And Simon's done a little biography at the front of the catalogue about him, and he's got a lot of the primitive money. This is lot 1109, which is a middle to late period square foot spade money. Anyang, ancient city of Honan province. Green and brown patina, otherwise very fine and scarce. And these are expertly catalogued by Mr. Pitchfork. As you know, he's an expert cataloguer of Asian coins and ancient coins.
There's a paid promotion on that.
So it's only estimated $150. We'll see what happens with it. They don't go crazy for the primitive stuff, but it's very hard to. You find one, you think, is it the original? But this old collection, you would hope that he got originals. He's got quite a selection of knife money. You'll see it in the catalogue. Did you get your catalogue, Rob? Thursday? Yeah.
Do you want a catalogue? George? Do you want a catalogue?
Yes.
Got
Yes,
one
I've
for
got
George?
Yeah. There you go. So this, I've got to explain what this is here. There's lot 1117 is a odd-shaped medium exchange, also known as bridge money. And you'll see it there, a lot of 1117. It's estimated $100. Although known as bridge money, these pieces are formerly known as funerary objects designed to imitate the stone chimes in the Bieng Qing. Bridge money have been accepted by some Chinese investors as actual coins of bar and shoe states during the Warring States period. And that's back in 300 to 226 BC. So they're BC items.
What's the estimate on that?
$100.
We always like to give a good story of these.
Yeah. That's intriguing. I didn't know that. I'm glad I've read it now.
Is there a mint
Let's-
mark on them? How do you,
Well,
Tom, how do you tell? The mint mark on them?
well, there's inscriptions on them, yeah. Characters which tell you.
No, no.
Here's one for you. 1128. Let's see what it's about. 1128 is the Ming Dynasty issue of Zhu Yuzhang as Prince of Wu. 10 cash. 1361 to 1368. Purchased from Eagle Coin Singapore. Not necessarily from James Gardner's collection. In the same section there's a string of cash coins on two strings, 254 coins, and 93 on the second string, so 347 coins. And this collection was written up in an article in the Australian Coin and Banknote magazine in February 2020. And Simon's written something interesting about how when people had a sickness, they used to chew the coins to get the sulphur. Tree, I don't know. You read that? No. But when you see the string of cash, I mean, that's 347 coins for $300. This next one I'm showing you was sent to me by a guy who sends me odd things from America, on 1159, and it's a very large silver issue of a silver tail of the Central Mint, the Peking Mint, but it's so rare and valuable, I've said it's got to be a collector's copy. So it's in at $300. If it's genuine, it's $100,000. So what are you going to decide?
300.
Interesting. How do you verify Chinese coins? They spend their time making replicas of coins, as you know.
They're good at it too.
It's very difficult. That looks a pretty good piece, doesn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
But he might have been lucky and got it early in the piece, but he seems to like sending coins to me. So that's good. Maybe it'll do well. So it's a session to sit through, I think. What's the bidding on the computer? And in the room. 1164 is an example of a Chile province silver dollar, dragon dollar. There's quite a lot of dragon dollars, but this is just nearly uncirculated. And I thought, well, was it made yesterday or was it truly nearly uncirculated? You've got to decide, haven't you? I tell you, when the bidding happens and they see the bids coming in, I mean, they decide, but they get the right of return if it gets rejected. They all send them off to PCGS or NGC. Some dealers won't accept returns from those places, but we're very fair. Well, that Chinese stuff, there's a lot of intriguing coins there, goes on for pages, and weird charms and things. And then we come to the collection of Gary McHugh of Tibetan coins, and it's a very good collection. And he worked and lived in Tibet, and he lives in Australia now. And he's coming here on Wednesday to see me. He's been away interstate. He's seen the coins catalogue online, but he hasn't seen the actual catalogue yet. That's a trade coinage silver half rupee, estimated at 1500. It's quite nice condition. Collins says a similar example in our SAR 129 realised 11,200. So I don't know what you've got to pay for these coins. It's the half rupee, which is really quite rare. He's got a number of rupees and 2 quarter rupees. Rather than going, Collins catalogued all these expertly, but the man had already attributed a lot of them with tickets, so it made it a bit easier to do the job, but he checked everything. Lot 1267 is from the Theocracy period, a 1909 silver 1 shrang, which is the large size flan, and it's very rare, and a similar example in our SAR 129 realised 30,000. This is estimated at 5,000.
What do you encourage bidding?
Tibet is now, of course, part of China. That's why there's a lot of strength in the market for it. And the reason I got this collection is because he saw what we did with Mark Friedel's collection. So the collection, it was his, but it was in America. He's American. He's written up in the catalogue. He was born in Rochester,
1269.
where another famous collector came from, J.J. Pittman. You remember Ross?
Hell no. You take all
Take it away.
You take the suitcase and proof sets on it.
Oh, dear.
Come over, Jim.
Crazy days. So that's a silver 1 shrang from 1909, but it's a different design, with ornaments and that sort of symbols on each side rather than the lion. Now the only gold coin is a 20 shrang of 1918, and Collins says it's
1270.
Sir Chang Mint or Kang Mint. It's estimated at 5,000. It's actually a little bit different from Mark's one in appearance. Same design, but this looks a bit different. I know. I asked Gary how he got the gold one. He swapped it with a very important collector of Tibet. That's how he was able to get one, because he picked up most of his coins in Tibet over the years. Steve Album sells the odd Tibet coin.
So what year is that, bro?
1918. I mean, I don't know how they read the dates. They've got all sorts of squiggles there. If you've got time to listen to Colin, he'll educate you on. There's a few the banknotes too in the collection to finish it off. So that ends that session. Then the 9th session on the second day starts with a fairly large session of British silver and bronze, and some old favourites here. Here's a halfpenny of the Anglo-Saxon King Alfred the Great, but it's only half a coin, but it comes from Gordon Sutherland's collection. His son found some more English coins and sent them down to me. And I thought, oh well, that's intriguing. At least it's an Alfred the Great, and it's only $150.
Half of a penny.
That's maybe designed to circulate as a halfpenny. And would you believe he had a William the Conqueror penny, but because my books are inaccessible because of the boxes in front of them, I couldn't get to them to attribute this properly. It could be a really rare mint. William the Conqueror penny, the Pax type.
1311.
Estimated at $900, because it is in quite nice condition apart from a bit of weakness. And he even had a William II penny, but this has been cut down as a farthing. The crossing quatrefoil type. You wonder how he got these, wouldn't you? You don't often see them advertised for sale, cut halfpennies and farthings. So if you need a coin of William II, which I'm sure you all do,
What's the estimate?
1312.
it's $200.
You can have part of it.
1313 is a silver penny pellets and quatrefoil type of Henry I, 1100-1135, London Mint, and a quarter segment has been cut out for a farthing, we presume, so the rest of it's left there. See, these haven't been on the market, have they, Colin?
No, they're a bit different. Everybody normally say. Those farthings of Henry, of Henry III,
Yeah.
or King John, something like that, but not the early ones.
Well, there's a number of coins from Gordon Sutherland's collection. He was a member of the Newcastle and also this society a long time ago. This is old Coppernose, Henry VIII. His testoon, the base coinage, and testoon is the third coinage, Tower Mint. It's only very good condition. But they're never really great. It's only $400 though, if you want one. I forgot to dig out the Charles I Oxford pound, but you've seen it before anyway. So comparing that condition of the Henry VIII testoon to this next coin, which is an Oliver Cromwell half crown, 1658. And I originally bought this from Spinks, sold it to John Mellick.
1338.
In 1980, and then it was up in our sale 118, and a very keen collector bought it for 20,000. Hammer. On I think a 5,000 estimate or something. So it's a great coin, obviously. The British must have thought it was one of the best known too. It always pays to buy quality if you can afford it, and if you can find it. So skipping through other British monarchs, I come up to Queen Victoria, and we have two Gothic crowns in the sale. The first one, what's 1373, is in lovely condition. It was bought from Spink Australia in July 81 for $2,400. Nice peripheral toning on the obverse, and it's virtually pretty well untouched. The reverse. And there's a Scottish coin from Phil Sutherland's collection. Oh, sorry, Gordon Sutherland, his son's Bill. A silver 40 shillings. They had a different currency in Scotland to the English, multiples. So half crowns were 30 shillings, and this is a 40 shillings, which is...
William and Mary, is it?
Yeah, William and Mary, 1691. Anyway, it's $300. It's honest coin, tone, evenly worn, not too worn. There's some other ropey coins of Ireland, and then we go into a collection I'm handling now. It started with, it's written up in the front of the catalogue, Malcolm Johnson's collection of British coins is in this sale, and banknotes, which includes his Isle of Man. And I was intrigued when I started cataloguing his collection. I thought, bloody hell, he's got the 17th century John Murray farthing. And then I realised it was my one. I sold it in sale 61. And it was from Dick Ford's collection. So it's estimated now at $1,500, but he must have bought it from our auction, or bought it from someone who did, because it went for, in my sale, 61 for $2,500, I think.
Got a good pedigree, didn't it?
Yeah. Very rare, the 17th century farthing of the Isle of Man. He's got all the 1709 and 1733 issues. In the catalogue there was a couple of mistakes with photos, which I put in the correction sheet. We got a couple of pennies illustrated in the halfpennies lot, and vice versa. So I've got a silver halfpenny here, show that they struck proofs in silver.
1468.
That's estimated at $200. It's evenly worn, but you know, that's for proof it's
So what grade are you calling that?
nearly very fine. And his collection of halfpennies, a similar date, has got 8 coins in it for $200. I don't know how you're going to handle 8 coins at one time. You just do a long shot. I think it is. A very good jersey in Guernsey, and then we go into British Historical Medals. The night session on the second day starts at 7:30 with some British Historical Medals, and then goes into British gold coins, which aren't much this time compared to last time, and then world gold coins. And in the world gold coins, there was a nice little coin that came in from a vendor who had mostly bullion type coins. This is a coin of the Netherlands, the Kingdom of Napoleon, when he was conquering Europe at the time. A gold ducat of 1809. Lovely condition. It's estimated at $1,000.
Herbie would have liked that, wouldn't he?
Napoleon Bonaparte. Sorry?
Herbie would have liked that.
Yes, he would have. Yeah, he went long ago. I don't know why he died, but he did. People do. Sad. But now that I'm drinking more beer than ever, I mean, with my sons, he would have enjoyed my company more now. Okay, so that concludes that day, the world gold, there's US gold at the end. And we go in the next morning, the third day, the 11th session, with ancient gold coins. And it kicks off with a very nice example of a Electrum Stater of 550 to 450 BC, a lion stalking left, and below is a tunny fish. It's estimated at 12,000, quite rare and quite good detail on it.
1671's the lot number. It's very nice.
And then there's an aureus of the Emperor Nerva, which is quite rare, 96 to 98 AD.
1676.
It's estimated at 15,000.
Roman gold.
There's a late Roman gold coin from a famous collection, C.S. Bement, which was sold by Jacob Hirsch in the Ars Classica sale series in the mid-20s, and it's of his son, Constantine II, but it's called a gold solidus rather than an aureus.
1679's the lot number.
And it was after that sale, Neville sale in 1924, it was in a Hirsch auction, and previous to that it was in a Hestevo sale.
What year is that?
That's 306 to 337 AD under Constantine the Great, but the coin was struck circa 324 when the boy was a Caesar rather than an emperor. And there's quite a nice portrait here of Lysimachus, but it's unfortunately the portrait's been put reverse up, the coin's been mounted. Quite a nice portrait. The Pergamon mint and the K under the bust. So it's estimated at 1600, lot 1703. It's quite a good write up there by Colin. It's from a Freeman and Sears sale in 2004. 1711 I thought was an attractively toned Philip II, father of Alexander, silver tetradrachm from Pellamint, ex-Lance auction in Germany in 2003, and really nice style portrait. That's issued 315 BC. 323 to 315. So,
Posthumous issue.
yes.
Incredible condition.
There are 27 lots starting at 1724 of the coins of Boeotia, and I picked out a couple of really good ones. This one's, the reverse is illustrated on the front cover. It's a Jacob Hirsch collection coin. It was in a Hess-Loy sale, in 1957. Then in a C&G sale. Only BCD and Gillette and this coin are in coin archives, so it's a great rarity. Only 3 of them. The obverse, unfortunately, is a little bit porous, but the reverse is beautiful with the head of Heracles bearded to the right, very sharp. And another one, we enlarged that in the catalogue, but I meant to enlarge this one I'm showing you, which is one from Thebes, which has again a good pedigree, and it shows the where's the reverse description? Reverse the Heracliskos Dracula. The infant Hercules seated facing nude and with his head turned right, sped away. I'm trying to pronounce that name.
1735 is the lot number.
So that's a... It's from a Triton sale in New York in 2010. So a very good collection. The next one I'm going to show you again has a connection with the society. It's an Attic tetradrachm of Athens from the archaic style period. This one about 480 BC. It originally belonged to Roy Sanson, who was a president of our society. He came from Dorchester in England, and he was a president of our society in the early days, the 1960s and 70s. Like just before the end of the 60s and then into early 70s. And he sold his collection to me, and we sold it in Glendenning's when I sold the collection in 1975, and then it went to a couple of collectors, and it's ended up in a collection that's been consigned, and it's estimated at 4,000 now, but I remember the original ticket was about £20 or something, from Baldwin's in the late 40s. They were very rare coins, and they were very hard to get in those early collecting days. More have turned up, but some really good ones can bring 6-figure sums. So maybe that's a coin to buy. I don't know what happened to the Baldwin's ticket. It doesn't seem to be with the coin. Go through all the ancient Greek and Roman. There's lots of Roman bronzes and Roman provincial, and that takes us through the Byzantine into the 13th session with Byzantine and Indian coins. And this is a coin of what,
2034.
It's a princely states of Awad. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a gold Ashrafri, and it's a very rare unlisted date. It was from Spink & Son in 1978. So, lovely condition, it's estimated 2,000. One of my Indian collectors looked at it and he liked it. I talked him into looking at them. So he's thinking of going for them, although he's gone over to India at the moment. So the rest of the sale that's in the library is Australian notes, decimal, and then in the night pre-decimal notes, which includes a magnificent rarity that you wouldn't have seen before. It's the first printing trial of our first banknote, the 10 shillings, which normally has Collins and Allen's signature, and it's a printing by Bradbury Wilkinson in 1912, before the 1913 issue. In Vaught Ronald's book, he lists this type with 2 specimen perforations. This has only 1 specimen perforation, so he possibly doesn't know of this example. It was bought by the collector in 2002 from IAG for 95,000. So I wondered if you'd like to buy that.
Did Windsor come and look at that? Did Windsor look at that?
Yeah. He looked at a few good things.
I'd love to buy it, Jim.
Well,
So who are the printers? Bradbury Wilkinson.
yeah. So that's
Did it
intriguing.
have a, was it only uniface?
No, it's 2-sided. Did you want to see the other side?
Yeah.
I thought you'd say that.
Slot 2313.
I mean, I haven't even mounted it up properly. I realised I hadn't done a photo of it when the photographer left, so I had to get Emily to do it. See you can see that it's absolutely untouched. It's flat as, crisp.
Let's see it.
I don't want to touch it. You can see it all right, Ross?
Yeah.
It's one for you, Ross.
Thank you.
I always look after Ross.
Does it stamp postal note though?
No,
Oh, right.
they're nothing.
Don't forget
You've got
the...
to have the real. You've got to have the real notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough of the frivolity. Now we go through all the war medals, and I'll show you this. This is the next thing. This is in the Australian groups in the 17th session at 11:30 on the Friday, and this is a very historic pair of medals that have their own little box made for it.
2475. It's the lot number.
And on the illustrated in the back cover of the catalogue, you've got the siege of Seringapatam and Indian War and Mysore Wars in the late 18th century, and you've got this medal from the Sultan of Egypt in gold, and it's inscribed right around the edge. It's to Captain G. Moll, M-O-L-L-E, ADC, and Military Secretary to Major General D. Baird, and it's from the Grand Signor for Egypt, 1801. He came to Australia, this guy, and became Lieutenant Governor under Macquarie in 1813, a significant date, Macquarie's era, as you know, for holy gold, isn't it? And he replaced Lieutenant Governor O'Connell. So there's quite a story about him. These medals turned up being bought across the counter in Adelaide years ago, and they were sold to this collector who's held on them for years, and now he's given them to us for the auction. So quite historic. And South Mole Island's named after Mole. There's quite a group of islands. It's all written up by John, his usual style of research. Very good. So a bit of Australian history. And there's some research with it, obviously. Thought you'd like to see that, something unique you won't see easily. Then we go into the, after all, the military, which goes on seemingly forever, badges. We come to the 19th session, which is the timed auction. It has militaria, lots of badges, 2 Emden medals, and it's in the timed auction only, so you can't go along to the room and bid for them. You have to leave a bid. Make sure you leave bids, because all these could go very cheaply. Because I can't control it. I don't know how to control this. And it includes then the Warwick Carey collection, more stuff from his collection. And that goes on, so it'll take a while for all that to close out. And then we go to Australian decimal coins, which includes a lot of $200 golds and things like that. And then decimal proofs, including an unofficial patent dollar. And quite a bit of gold stuff there, 2 ounce gold coin. Then we go to world silver. And this is a coin of Austria. Salzburg, Hieronymus, the ruler, the bishop, silver taler, 1788.
3163.
Significant
It's a lot
date
number.
now, history, 1788. Nice condition, it's estimated at $350. Beautiful looking thing. There are quite a few different countries represented. From the same collector, there's the next lot, 3256, is a Hungarian taler of Ferdinand III, dated 1658, estimated at $500.
3256 is a lot number.
And from the same collector, there's a silver 8 lira of Italy from Genoa. Three, 261.
3261.
There's a series of tokens of New Hebrides, nickel-plated tokens, which were issued by L.G. Fruin, and I'm showing the 2 shillings because it's got 2 on it, and there's a threepence, sixpence, shilling and 2 shillings. Really rare tokens.
3292 is the
You know
what
why?
number?
These have a pedigree actually going back to the New Hebrides. That's where they came to me. The guy occasionally visits me. Last time he gave me something, he said more than 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe more. And he brought those in for this sale. So a really rare opportunity to get some rare tokens from a country you don't think you can get coins from. Last of all, for those of you who still have it as their favourite country, we have a coin of Russia. A Peter the Great ruble. And it's quite sharp, and it's dated 1720 in a Cyrillic date, so it's not written 1720.
3302 is a
It's
lot number.
catalogued by Colin, who had to do a especially good job on this for the vendor, but it's got a mount removed from the top. So Colin must regard it as one of the finest known otherwise or something, because he's got 1500 on it. Who knows how Russian coins are going? They were hot a while ago.
Maybe not now.
Get to sell your Chinese while that market's still hot, eh? I've got to sell the coins of a collector. He was a member of the society in the next auction, Barry Scott. He used to like Chinese coins. So I've got his stuff to sell. I haven't even seen it. It's here, but I haven't looked at it. So that's it really. There's a lot of things to consider. The world notes are really good. The Isle of Man, the Jersey, the Guernsey. And I mean, if John Pettit comes to view the stuff, he'll need to get here soon, because there's a lot to look at. How long have I gone for? Oh, not too bad. Not too
Yep.
bad. Yeah.
Almost.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
Is there any questions for Jim?
Anyone want credit at the sale? No?
We all would.
Do you want to sell the stuff?
So just briefly, you mentioned in the back of the book that it's online only.
Timed online auction, so it starts on the Thursday at 9:30 a.m. to close. So there's 1,000 lots, and they just close in an equal fashion. If someone doesn't bid, then someone's got to bid in, it closes. Someone bids again, it keeps going.
Okay.
But previously we had 10-minute gaps was a bit too long.
Yeah.
Took too long, so it'll probably be quicker. And the risers have to be worked in pretty carefully, because when you get up on these lots of $200 gold coins, they don't want to pay a full 10% rise. They'd like to pay a 5% rise. And that sort of thing. Yeah. But it's necessary because it's too hard to run the auction with a lot of lots. It's too fast. Everybody complains. I didn't get my bid in. They want to perfect the online bidding now for people, even with the live auction over at the library. So I'd say if you really want to get some lots and they're being sold in the library sessions, then come to the library. It's free, and you get your hand up till you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure people will put in snipe bids and what next anyway, wouldn't they?
Yes,
Yeah, so I mean, the last 10 seconds,
it could.
you get all
happen.
your bids, yeah.
And the usual refreshments at the library.
Yes, as has been the custom in the last.
What are
Huge.
the
I dashed back here.
the coffee shop down the corner?
Well, I've got one viewer who's been up viewing, Paul Bickerton from Victoria. He's come in to view from today for a few days.
Looks like Stuart Wright had his chair around the corner.
Well, Paul's been using it. Stuart hasn't turned up yet.
Ah,
Yeah.
I thought
Which
that
I
nice
thought he'd
comfy
need to
chair
get here
was
soon.
Stuart's.
I gave him the catalogue and he said, I don't need the catalogue. Yes, you do. And argue with me. He said he doesn't need 5 of them, but I gave him 5 because they all want one who work there. Yeah.
Well, Jim, thanks very much for that informative information about your upcoming auction. Here's a certificate of appreciation for our showing us all your various.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
That was very informative.
And the viewing starts on Wednesday, so if you want to see the lots come in.
Come in and see Rodney. He'll be serving you. There you go.
Right,
As he does always.
well, if there's nothing else to do, we'll close the meetings and we'll get Tony to bring in some refreshments.
Just want to know who wants coffee
Hands up who wants
and
coffee.
who wants tea. Coffee's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the rest of your
You
teas.
want coffee or tea? You want coffee or tea?
Simone, you having tea?
5 coffees and 4 teas, actually. Right, one more.
Another tea.
Simone's a cheat.
Make it 6 coffees.
6 coffees.
Yeah, and just to remind you, our December meeting, 12th of December at Fellows House, 8 p.m.
Thank you.